Wrestling superstar the Iron Sheik passes away today, July 19th, 2023. How's it going, everyone? This is Christian Duke. You're watching Strength Addicts on all social media platforms, powered by TitanMedicalCenter.com, your go-to source for all the amazing therapies, #1 in patient care, and Amazon's Fit Mag celebrate the female physique. On Strength Addicts, I make it a rule to only talk about bodybuilding, but there are exceptions, and this is one of them. The Iron Sheik dying of cardiac arrest is, I grew up with wrestling. I haven't watched wrestling since I was like 12, 13 years old. I didn't get into the whole NWO thing. I didn't, get into anything past 12 or 13. But let me tell you something. From the age of about 4 to the age of about 10, I had the big rubber like wrestling figures. I had the Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, King Kong Bundy, Big John Studd, Hillbilly Jim, and I could just go on and on. Roddy Piper, Adrian Adonis. I mean, I was so into wrestling between 4 and 10. And then like 11, 12. By 13, I was kind of like out of it, But Tito Santana. I saw the Macho Man Randy Savage fight Hulk Hogan at the Miami Arena. I don't even know when that was. And Savage was the Intercontinental Champion. Hogan was the heavyweight champion. The Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, who were like the Cold War heels, because you had Iran and the Soviet Union versus like, Demolition versus the Hart Brothers versus like just endless American free world tag team, people. But those two, and they had their signature move, which was, what was their signature move? I think, shit, I don't even remember their signature move. I don't remember their signature move. I know the Iron Sheik had the, what was it called? Like the death clutch or something like that. Like he would stand behind you and he would grab your head and he would like do this thing and he'd like kind of like lean back. I don't remember what it was called. I could go look at it on YouTube or whatever. But the camel clutch, I think is what they used to call it. I mean, think about how like just politically just wrong, to call his move the camel clutch. It's just, and he would come in like in a, I don't even want to like, my memory might be mistaken, so I don't want to elaborate too much. This was the 80s, and so it was a different time, but like you could not do what they did then today, and not to say that what they did then was right, but by today's standards, the WWE would be shut down. It was so politically incorrect, but when you're like 6 years old, and you get your dad to take you to like an arena, like it just, my dad, like, he was like, this is bullshit. Like, he's not going to say that to me. Just like a parent's not going to say, Santa Claus, there's no old white dude that comes down the chimney. There's not a rabbit during Easter that leaves you chocolate eggs. And that dollar that you get under your pillow, now it's probably like 10 because of inflation. But that dollar you get under the pillow, it's not the tooth fairy. It's me and mom trying to shut you up because you got your tooth out or someone. Parents don't do that sort of thing unless like they're raising a serial killer. You know what I mean? So the reality of the matter is my dad took me to at least 3 or 4 wrestling matches. And back in those days, they didn't show you good wrestling matches on TV. If you wanted to see a good wrestling match, you had to buy yourself a ticket and you had to go to an arena or something like that, a big ass theater. Actually, an arena. WWE didn't do theaters. They did arenas. They were like big ticket shows. And because if you wanted to see something on TV for free, I mean, you would see them like wrestle like, I don't know, the Moondogs, for example. I mean, they just sucked. I mean, they were like these two like, trailer park trash looking tag teamers. And they had like one hook from a like suspender, like a pair of jean suspenders, but like low end jeans, not like hillbilly gym jeans that you could buy if you'd made $1 million. They were just like some rank, torn up Walmart jeans, and they were so like busted. They only had one suspender, and they had like this like really like orange, dirty, blonde looking afro hair, and they just looked like there was like some serious inbreeding that went on in their family, and the real bad kind, like where you have a third eye. And those are the people that you would see fight on TV, and they sucked, and like they'd be lucky to throw one punch. But I went to the arenas and I saw the Iron Sheik fight, and he had like the flag of Iran, and he had like these weird boots that looked like weapons almost. And then you had, but he was actually in shape. Whereas Nikolai Volkov, I mean, he was just a fat slob, you know what I mean? But I mean, he didn't have any cuts or anything. He had like the Russian hat, and he like waved that Soviet flag up and down. And they would cheat like crazy because the bad guys, they always cheated. But years later, I would see him do interviews and podcasts, that sort of thing. I don't think that he liked Hulk Hogan very much. But I don't think any of them really liked Hulk Hogan, because I've heard Hulk, and I know Hulk Hogan's like big into bodybuilding and everything, and I say this with all the respect in the world, but a lot of those wrestlers thought Hulk Hogan was an asshole. But the thing is, I don't know him like that. I've never even met him, and so I don't want to talk poorly about the Hulkster. But I mean, and I want to say that maybe part of the Iron Sheik's passing maybe had to do with gear, because they all did gear. But I'm pretty sure like the Iron Sheik was probably up there in age. So the cardiac arrest could have been from years of gear, or it could have been from red meat, or it could have been just because he was old. I don't know. He wasn't a spring chicken when I saw him wrestle, and that was some 35 years ago. So you add those 35 years onto the fact he wasn't a spring chicken then, and he was probably like 70 or 75. I bet you I look on Wikipedia, maybe he was 80. I don't know. And maybe the gear did play a role, but when someone, kicks the bucket at 70 or 80, it's not as bad, obviously, as when it's like Dallas McCarver at 26. You know what I mean? But it still sucks. It still sucks. I used to live off of that stuff. I'm actually thinking when we had the those they were like this big, and they were wrestling figures, and they were rubber, and I was remembering when we would throw them into my friend Jeffrey Adams' pool, and we'd dive in after them, and then we wrestle with them, and they had the rings and everything, and then we would watch the TV wrestling sucked because, like I said, you would never see like a big match. But the interviews, like Mean Gene Okerlund, the interviews was real entertainment value. And then like Adrian Adonis had the hair salon or whatever. I don't know. The TV was good because it pumped you up. It raised the buzz for you to then go and buy the ticket to watch the actual real match you wanted to see. After months watching, WrestleMania stuff and wrestling stuff, and and then. Like in the early 90s, because I got out of it like in 92, 93, but in the early 90s with Blockbuster Video and West Coast Video, Hollywood Video, stuff like that, you could actually go. And if you were too cheap, or your parents didn't want to splurge on pay-per-view because it was really expensive, you could watch like old WrestleManias or Royal Rumbles or whatever steel cage matches on, I almost said DVD, but there was no DVDs back then, VHS. And you'd pay like $3-4 and you'd have it for like two nights and 3 days. But yeah, if you didn't return it, then they charge you again. So yeah, that sucks. Anyways, guys, if you have any Iron Sheik stories that you want to share, whether on Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. These videos are everywhere. Leave one down below. Oh shit. I was like playing with this pen. I don't like death. Death does something to me. I don't like talking about death. We just lost Gustavo Bedell a few days ago. That was one of my heroes. I know it's really weird for like a 44-year-old guy talking into a camera to say that he has heroes. Gustavo Bedell was a hero. The Iron Sheik's a hero. Having to make 2 videos about 2 people that I greatly looked up to is not cool. I don't like it. It really kind of sucks. But I was a supporter of Gustavo's when I was in law school, and in undergrad. So I was like in my late 20s, early 30s. I grew up on the Iron Sheik. So that's like compounded like by 100, Like I'm like legitimately depressed. Not to say that I wasn't depressed about Gustavo, but I am like legitimately effed up that the Iron Sheik passed away. He was, I'm going to write an article for Iron Magazine right now. That's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to write an article for Iron Magazine. I'm here in my office in Jeffersontown, Kentucky. I'm going to go and I'm going to write an article for Iron Magazine after doing this video. And I may even put one up at strengthaddicts.com as well. Like, I am like legit effed up over this. So, gosh. And you know how I found out about this? Because I went on TMZ.com. I do that every once in a while. I'll just go on TMZ.com for just whatever reason. Like, half the people they talk about on there, I don't even know who they are. But I was just like, let me just go on there and see like what's going on in the world of paparazzi. And I almost kind of wish that I hadn't. You know, like when you see something, read something you wish you hadn't, you wish there was like a rewind button. I wish there was a rewind button, because then maybe I wouldn't have seen this news. It doesn't change the fact that he died, but it would have changed the fact that I would have known that he died. Now that I know that he dies, I'm not really like, I don't know, I'm just like, it just doesn't feel, it feels like crap actually. But I'm going to write an article for Iron Magazine and one for Strength Addicts. And if you see this video, July 19th, 2023, or August 1st, 2025, or whenever you see this video, and you want to leave a comment down below, anything you want to share about the amazing superstar known as the Iron Sheik. I don't even know his real name. I could have gone to Wikipedia. I could have learned his name. I could have found out his age. I could have found out the move that him and Nikolai did. I could have confirmed the move that he did. I could have done all that. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to come on here and just tell you how much I wish I had not read the news that one of my childhood heroes, the Iron Sheik, died today.